Good morning, everyone. This is day 10 of our revision lecture series, just 20 minutes. We have completed almost all chapters except international taxation and settlement commission search and seizure. We'll be discussing two chapters today, settlement commission and search and seizure. Search and seizure and settlement commission together may come in your exams for 6 to 8 marks. They may separately come for 4 marks each, or they may come for one chapter may come for 4 mark and the other chapter may come in MCQs for 2 marks. Okay, so these are very important chapters for you to score in. We'll be starting off with search and seizure. In search and seizure, you need to open page number 23 for this. This is the summary of search and seizure. It says when the authority has reasons to believe that information or documents asked under section 142.1 or summon notice under 131.1, the assessee has failed, disagreed, or provided useless information. I'm repeating, when the authority has reasons to believe that documents which are asked as per 142.1 or summon notice has been given and information that has been provided is useless, or information is not provided at all, or the assessee disagrees to provide such information, then the authority will, after authorization, enter and search, and then he'll conduct the search and seizure activities. Okay, now first of all, there are two criteria, rather two situations. First situation, we have discussed that the authority has reasons to believe that useless information, or the assessee has failed to provide any information, disagreed to provide any information. Now the second situation is where the assessee is in possession of valuable articles like jewelry, bullion, cash, and other articles which are not disclosed in the return of income, wholly or partly. Then after authorization, he may enter and search. So what are his powers? Now we'll see that. He may enter and search any building. These images will help you recall, and if you have to write any content in exam, any answer in exam, these images will help you recall. He may enter and search building, aircraft, ships, cars, other places. He may break open. So if a safe lock or any lock is locked and there is no key, he may break open the door or a safe box and safes, etc. Okay. He may also search any person going into this building and leaving this building if he has reasons to suspect that he has secreted some information. Okay, so he may search the person going into this building and going out of this building. Okay, he may seize. Now this is a very important power. He may seize the stock. After seizing, he can make a note of inventory. He can place identification marks. He can place identification marks to identify what has gone down during the search. Okay, so these are his powers. He may enter and search, break and open, search, seize, and place identification marks. These are his powers. If in exams the question is what are the powers under 132.1 for under search and seizure for an authority, you have to write these red boxes: enter and search building, aircraft, ships, etc. Okay. Now it says where it is impossible to seize the inventory and take physical possession, the the authority can pass an order not to remove the inventory. So the assessee will not be able to remove the inventory without prior permission. Okay. Now it is a general law that a general situation where some documents or valuable articles has been found in a person with a person. So it is a general presumption that the article which is been found in with a certain person will be belonging to him. It is presumed that they belong to the position in whose possession the books were found. So general presumption is the person who has got the physical possession will be treated as the owner. Now if he proves otherwise, then we'll consider the other case. Okay. Now one more important thing. So in our case study, we used to take an example as an employee was fired from his job, reported to the authority for getting a search and seizure against a specific person, against his employer. Yes. Now, if the reason to believe is disclosed and that employee may be at risk, either financially or physically. So what the government has said, what the Income Tax Act has said by Finance Act 17, that the reasons to believe should not be disclosed. So you cannot disclose. Okay. Another amendment by Finance Act 2017 is provisional attachment. Now to protect the interest of revenue, the authority may provisionally attach the properties. So what the provisions say, the authority may to protect the interest of revenue after recording reasons and taking the approval, pass an order within 6 months to attach any property. Okay, in the main book it is given in further detail. If you want to check it out, the main book in the main book this chart is given and on the right side the description is given. So if you want to check it out, you can use the main book as well. Again, the limit is 60 days. Another case is reference to valuation officer. Now 2017 Finance Act 2017 has made this change as well, that where a reference can be made to valuation officer for a report, and to the report must be delivered within 60 days. Okay. So this is it for search and seizure. 2 marks question may come. I'm just it is more or less a certainty that 2 marks question will come from this chapter, because previously the institute may have forgotten this chapter, may have not mentioned any question from this chapter, but since there are MCQs, the institute will try to cover as many chapters as possible. Okay, so even if you read this chart, there's 90% possibility that you'll be able to score those 2 marks. So read this chart again and again, like you have to read all the charts again and again. Each chart takes only 5 minutes of your time, so that takes 150 minutes of your time to revise entire DT, which is 2.5 hours, not much. Okay, now we'll come to settlement commission. For settlement commission there are 3 conditions to be satisfied to go to settlement commission. First, let me open that first. The case should be pending. Second, requirements of application that I'll be discussing. Third is the amount. Okay, suppose a notice comes to an assessee. what will what will an assessee do? Now, has an order come? No, notice has come. So first condition is cases pending. Cases pending means notice has been issued to me, but order has not been issued to me. So before the notice has been issued, I cannot go to settlement commission. Preempting or thinking that the notice will come, I cannot go to settlement commission. After the order is passed, I cannot go to settlement commission. After the order is passed, I'll go into appeal. During that time limit, from notice till order, or rather before order, you can go to settlement commission. That means case is pending. Suppose an assessee receives a notice. What will an assessee do? To memorize these provisions, I'll say he'll go to a temple to God. He'll say to the God that I have done a lot of bad things in my life. I've escaped this amount of income. So settlement commission is God. Pay attention, okay? Settlement commission is God. What is he saying to the God? That I have done a lot of bad things in my life. I have escaped this amount of income on which tax is this much. I'll He's saying to the God, I'll pay you interest and tax and everything. Just release me from penalty and prosecution. His request to God is to prevent him from penalty and prosecution. The God cannot make him tax free. He may make him penalty free. Okay, penalty and prosecution free. So what does he say? I have this amount of income. I've been earned income in this manner. The tax on this income is X amount. I'll pay you the X amount, tax amount, including the interest. Just save me from penalty and prosecution. This is what the assessee says. So the second point comes into picture, requirements of application. What does he say? Full and correct disclosure of his income which has not been disclosed to AO. So he has not disclosed to AO. Now he comes here and says I'm giving full and correct disclosure. Manner of income derivation, he says, you remember he says that I've earned income in this manner. The income is computed in this manner, and then he says additional tax payable on such income is this much amount. Other particulars that may be prescribed. Tax and interest mentioned in the application and fee is paid on before the date of application. The assessee has intimate. Okay, he has also to the assessee is required to intimate to AO as well that he has made an application to settlement commission. Once an application is made, it cannot be withdrawn. Is this clear? So what are the requirements? Full and correct disclosure will be given, manner of income derivation will be given, additional tax payable on such income will be calculated, other particulars as may be prescribed. Tax and interest mentioned in the application and fees paid on or before the date of application. Okay. So first condition was any proceedings for assessment or reassessment of any previous year is pending before an AO on the date of application. So for example 153A notice, when it becomes pending, date of issue of notice. Now the third condition is, let's say first the condition it's a temple. You remember settlement commission is a temple. So when an assessee goes into the temple, he is protected from a devil. Who is the devil in this case? Devil is the AO. The assessing officer is the devil. Once he enters into the temple, suppose this is the temple, he enters into the temple, he is protected from the devil. Now the jurisdiction exclusively lies with the temple, that is settlement commission. Once an application is made, exclusive ITAC jurisdiction. Okay, exclusive ITAC jurisdiction. The assessing officer is sitting outside the temple. He cannot do anything. Please note, he cannot do anything but he is listening. What is he listening to? To the proceedings in the settlement commission. Okay, if during the proceedings of settlement commission, the settlement commission thinks, or the god thinks, that the assessee is lying, has not made true and fair disclosure, then he'll throw the assessee out. Meaning the proceedings will abate. When shall it abate? For example, application is rejected. Now he was in the temple, exclusive jurisdiction of Income Tax Settlement Commission. Now he's thrown out of the temple. Now he's out of the temple in the open. Now, will the jurisdiction be with AO or the settlement commission? Now the settlement commission has thrown out. So now the exclusive jurisdiction will be lying with the assessing officer. Okay. Now the jurisdiction will lie with assessing officer. You remember, he couldn't enter the temple, but he was listening, sitting outside. What was he listening to? To the proceedings being carried on in the settlement commission. When the settlement commission proceedings abate, AO or other income tax authority shall be entitled to use all material or info produced before ITAC and shall dispose of the case in accordance with the provisions of this act as if no application under section 245C has been made. So he will be entitled to use all material. So it is very important that he will be entitled to use all material. So whatever information assessee has presented before the AO, before the settlement commission, will be allowed to be used by AO. Now AO will use the material and accordingly make his case. Now suppose, do you remember we did time limits for income tax assessment order? 12 months, 6 months, 12 months, 4 years, 6 years for notice and 1 year for order. 143.2, it was 18 months. You remember? It was 12 months for 143.2, it was 1 year for 147. So during that, so now the notice has been issued. Now the assessee wants to go to settlement commission. Now he has gone to the settlement commission. While the assessing officer is sitting outside, is he doing any activity in relation to the assessment? Now his time is he's losing some time. Because he's losing so huge amount of time and he couldn't do anything during that period, the time limit for passing an order will be increased by the time spent in the temple. Now after excluding the time spent in the temple, if the period for assessing officer goes below 1 year, it will be extended to 1 year. Okay. If after exclusion period of limitation comes to less than 1 year, will be extended to 1 year. So it's simple. From the time, what time should be excluded? When it shall it await an exclusive jurisdiction. It's simple. From the date the assessee enters into the temple, till the date he is thrown out of the temple, exclusive jurisdiction lies with the Income Tax Settlement Commission, with the god. The devil couldn't do anything. After he is thrown out, the devil can take up the case. He can exclude the time. You remember, he can exclude the time spent in the temple, and after excluding time, if the period comes to below 1 year, it will be extended to 1 year. So there's this process for settlement commission that he will accept. First he will decide whether to accept the application or not. If application is rejected, it shall abate on the date of rejection. If application is accepted, then application is declared in, so suppose the procedure is the assessee will apply to AO, to Income Tax Settlement Commission. He will give notice to assessee to say that prove me or mention me the reasons why I should consider your application. The third is decide. Now the settlement commission will decide whether to accept or reject application within 14 days. Fourth, he will call report from principal commissioner or commissioner within 30 days. If report is not received within 30 days, so these are given points. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you have to read in that format. If report is not received within 30 days, Income Tax Settlement Commission has to proceed. He may reject. Do you now get the linking? He has asked for the reports. Now the settlement commission is may application is declared invalid on the basis of CIT's objectives. So on the basis of CIT's report, the settlement commission may declare the application as invalid. Okay. If the report is received, the Income Tax Settlement Commission may declare application as invalid, like I mentioned, within 15 days from receipt of report. If it is not declared invalid and the application is accepted and it is continuing, he may call for, settlement commission may call for records and direct for further inquiry or investigation. The time limit is 90 days. The direction will be given to principal commissioner or commissioner. If no report is received, previously Income Tax Settlement Commission had to proceed. Shall, the word shall was used. Now Income Tax Settlement Commission may proceed. After examining records and report by CIT and giving reasonable opportunity of being heard, shall pass an order within 18 months from end of month of application. So 18, the settlement commission has time limit of 18 months from the end of month of application to pass settlement order. There is no appeal possibility against the settlement order. So we'll just revise in just 2 minutes. The assessee has received notice. What will he do? He'll go to temple. What will he say? Now, is he received? Has he received the order? No. Has he not received the notice? No. So it is between the date of notice and date of order. He'll go to settlement commission. What will he say? That I have earned this amount of income. This amount of income is, this income has been evaded. On this income, the tax comes to this. Takes this tax along with interest I am giving you. Just really give me relief from penalty and prosecution. That is what the assessee says. So then the jurisdiction exclusively lies with the Income Tax Settlement Commission, with the temple, the god. Now, after exclusive jurisdiction with the god, the Income Tax Settlement Commission may throw the assessee out if he believes that the information given is false. It will amount to abatement of proceedings. Once the abatement of proceedings are there, the AO, the devil, will now have exclusive jurisdiction. You remember, he was not, he couldn't say, he could not do anything, but he was listening, standing outside. Now what will he do? He will use all the material used, all the facts disclosed above, that is in Income Tax Settlement Commission, and now he'll make the case. Simple. The time limit of passing an order by AO will be excluded. The time limit spent in Income Tax Settlement Commission will be excluded. If after excluding the time limit comes down to below 1 year, it will be extended to 1 year. That's it. Now, just to add the final point to this chapter, is this a temple where me and you can go? No, this is a golden temple. This is a golden temple. Only rich thieves can go in this temple, who has evaded tax of 50 lakhs and 10 lakhs. Okay, so 6 assessment years plus previous year relevant to AY in which search is conducted, additional income tax payable. So in case of 153A, search and seizure notice is issued only if and only if the tax payable is more than 50 lakhs, then only the assessee is allowed to go to settlement commission. So this section is for settlement commission is for rich, rich thieves. Okay, other cases 10 lakh. Okay, so this is it from my side for settlement commission and search and seizure. You may write your queries to me if you have any, and we'll be discussing international taxation tomorrow, and that will be it for our division lecture series, just 20 minutes.